My name is Ashleigh, and today, let's walk you through your WhoFi.com account. I'm excited to equip your library with your visitor statistics and your board reports. So first, let's go to WhoFi.com and get you logged in. Here, use your WhoFi credentials to get signed in to your WhoFi.com account. For our library systems, at the top right, you always have a location drop-down to toggle between your different locations within your library system. Today, I will walk you through your Wi-Fi usage reports here, and then we'll jump into some of your monthly director and board reports. So on the left-hand side, first, under Wi-Fi usage, we will click on Library Session Count. Let's review a few of the filter options across the top prior to jumping into the reports. At the top, you have a date range calendar. This is where you are welcome to change the timeline of the report that you are looking at. Simply click on the calendar icon and then click on this white report dates area, and two calendars will pop up, and you can select up to 1 month's worth of data by selecting your start date and your end date. And then hit apply and your page will refresh and show you a new report with the new timeline you have selected. Up next, your insights come in chart, table, and downloadable CSV. You can also filter the data by different group types, such as visitor, employee, equipment, or all. You will find the default is set to visitor. Since directors and program managers are most interested in seeing patron utilization, but for those who want to do a deeper dive, it can be done so here. So this library session count report is where our partnership started with public libraries. It was around 2015 when public libraries came to us with an issue they were having. The IMLS had put a new question on the public library survey that asks them to report on the number of wireless sessions they receive per year. The public libraries asked us to help them come up with a way to meaningfully accomplish this goal. They provided us with an example. If a patron came to the location and used the Wi-Fi in the morning and then left for more than an hour, and then they returned that same afternoon, how many sessions would that count? We simply asked them what they thought. What exactly was the goal? They said that it would be just two sessions. A morning session and an afternoon one. They said this because the library is providing additional value and it should count as an additional session. So this is what we've built, and this is what is being displayed here. So here in this report, you can see in each of the rows how many sessions your library received during that day. The session total time is the total amount of time that all devices were on your Wi-Fi during that day, and the session average time is on average how long each session lasted. And in blue are your totals and averages across the bottom. Up next, on the left-hand side under Wi-Fi usage, we're going to click Unique Daily Usage. So this report was designed to provide public libraries with insight into the number of patrons utilizing the network over a specific period. Here, you will find the number of unique patrons that were on your network per day. When we started this report, we only had the total daily visits up top, which is a sum of each day. While the directors appreciated this information, it didn't take long for them to ask for more detailed information. The feedback from directors was that they wanted to be able to tell how many unique patrons made up the visits during the report range. So we added the unique visitors count here. This displays the total number of unique patrons that utilize the Wi-Fi over the range selected. Next, they let us know that the reason they wanted to know the unique patron count was to better understand the average return rate for the patrons over the time period. So we added that to the right for them as well. For an example for this report, earlier we were speaking about sessions. If a patron came in the morning and they left and came in the afternoon, that would be counted as two different sessions. But on this report, we would only count that as one visit. Now, if a patron came on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, that would be counted as three different visits. But on this report, they would only be counted as one unique visit. If you have any questions on this report, feel free to reach out. Our next report is on the left under Wi-Fi usage. We're going to click on average usage. So this report's my favorite. I think it's the coolest. This report is designed to provide public libraries with the most popular times that patrons are connected to your network. The graph is color-coded to communicate to you the busiest times of the day at your library. On the far right, you can see that the darker the color, the higher the number of patrons utilizing your Wi-Fi. Any blank spaces just means that nobody was on your Wi-Fi during that 1 hour period. If you want averages, you can expand the timeline beyond a week by using the date range calendar above. Our library partners are using this report to plan for staffing, to identify the best time to run programs, and ideal network maintenance downtimes. Libraries that leave their Wi-Fi on 24/7 can use this to see what type of patron utilization they are receiving before they open and after they close. Some have made changes to their hours of operation or added things like park benches outside the library to make it more welcoming to use the Wi-Fi from outside their building when they are closed based off of the insights they found here. Our next report is found on the left-hand side under Wi-Fi usage. We're going to select the new versus return report. This report breaks the patrons down into 3 categories for a more in-depth look at the makeup of your users. As you can see, it categorizes them into first seen, new, and return to gather a better understanding of the new patrons utilizing your network versus the number that have been to your location before. When we first started this report, we had just new and return categories, but after speaking with multiple libraries and boards, they told us that they wanted the ability to see if it was perhaps a program or an event that brought the new patrons in. So because of their feedback, we added the first seen category. Let me show you how they are utilizing it. It is here that we can identify the first hour the patrons connected so that directors can tie those programs to their presence. By choosing this filter button, there is an option down here called Show Hourly. We're going to change this from no to yes. And then let's pick a specific day, such as Thursday, June 22nd. When you hit apply, your page will refresh, and here we can pin down to the day and the hour that those new and first seen patrons showed up on your Wi-Fi network. In doing this, we can measure program-specific effectiveness and capture first-time patrons there for a specific program. The next report is found on the left-hand side under Wi-Fi usage. We will select the Power User Report. The Power User Report provides insight into how often patrons return to your library over time. It can be used to articulate the makeup of your user base from power users further to the right to casual users further to the left, and also the success of the library in providing continued value to its patrons. We find that the main concentration for the average library is somewhere between 1 and 5 individual days within a given month. So when you look at this chart, you'll see that the 1 individual day and the number above it is the number of patrons that utilize your location's Wi-Fi on that 1 individual day during the report range selected. The next bar represents a different set of patrons that actually visited your library twice in the past timeline chosen. One might infer that patrons in the buckets on the far right might be using the library as a study space or for remote work. Up to this point, I have shown you our self-service reporting features. You can log in and grab these numbers as you see fit. Public libraries use these areas to focus in on key areas. But what we noticed is that they also wanted a real simple way to look at all of the data to help tell compelling stories during board and stakeholder meetings and to see what is taking place at a macro level. With that, we built their trend summary. So let's go look at the trend summary. If you would, on the left-hand side, we're going to click on monthly reports. In here, let's select the Wi-Fi folder for the most recent year. You will find lots of different reports for the current months. These reports are downloadable and they are available to you on the 5th of every month. You will receive a monthly statistics email from us on the 5th of the month, and this serves as a reminder to let you know that these reports are available for download. In here, for standalone locations that are not part of a system, this is what you will see. In here, you will see an at-a-glance report, which is a PDF infographic. You'll also see a location report and a fiscal report for libraries within a fiscal year. These 2 location reports are your trend summaries. For libraries who belong to a system and have different branch locations, at the top right, you'll have an option called your primary location. When you select this, you will then see Wi-Fi reports in here that are a sum of all the branch locations. You will see a system at a glance and a system view report, which is your trend summary. For now, let's click on the system view report and it will download. Once your report is downloaded and opened, this is what the first index page will look like. The index page will show you that the branches' names have been abbreviated, and you'll see those names down here along the bottom in the different tabs. This second tab will be a total of all of the branch locations. If you are a standalone location and not part of a system, then this will look like just a regular standalone trend summary report. You can see here that this is laid out in a profit and loss style format that many are accustomed to seeing. This month-over-month format allows the data to come alive and provide the necessary information to tell these stories. If you take a look at the top section of your trend summary, you'll see monthly comparisons of your session counts, as well as your visits and your monthly unique visitors. The top insight that you might expect is the total session count. As previously stated, this is the first insight that public libraries had asked for us years ago. It did not take long for those public libraries receiving this standardized information to come back and say that there was a spike or a dip in the numbers, and their boards had questions. And they asked us what they could tell them from this one number. The reality was that this number by itself was not all that helpful, and that was when, with public library feedback, we came up with the additional insights contained here. Now we can tell a story with your information. One of those stories that your library can tell is that for this month, this library had 302 total sessions that were a result of 222 total visits to the library coming from 64 monthly unique visitors that on average came to the Wi-Fi on a little over 3 days and for a little under 15 hours during the month. Library directors let us know that they love comparisons. And since we are collecting your information over time, we provide historical comparisons to help further in assessing the library's impact and measuring if the decisions you are making are having the desired results. As you can see here in this middle section, starting with row 22, you have access to comparisons not only in the previous months, but to the same month prior year and to year-to-date totals. And libraries are really using these to see seasonality and trends within their libraries across time. Here, we provide you with your year-to-date session count to make it easier to report your information on the state annual survey. We provide the total for the year in last month's version of your state-specific reporting cycle. This last section down here in row 37 is what we call your community impact section. It shows you your total unique visitors for the year, the average amount of days each visitor came, and the average hours each visitor stayed. So looking at these numbers, you can see the impact that your library is having on your community just by providing free Wi-Fi. At the end of the reporting cycle, public libraries are taking the unique visitors number found here and dividing it by their service population to draw out the percentage of the community that is being impacted by this offering. Also, identifying how much and how often on average they used it. Now, libraries had told us that this report was great, very detailed, and it provided them with the extra information that they were looking for. But they noticed that it was not the best at keeping engagement up during board meetings because not everybody likes to look at Excel spreadsheets. So we heard public library feedback and created an infographic report that you can find within your account. So while this report is being used as the director report, this next report is being used for board and stakeholder meetings. When you jump back into your account, we're going to select your At a Glance report. So this report is what we call your At a Glance report. It provides you with the same information that you saw in your trend summary, just in a different format. On the left-hand side, it provides you with quick, brief information such as your monthly sessions, your total visits, your unique visitors, and your average visitor return rate. The arrows on the side and the percentages represent the change from the prior month. At the top right, you've got two different graphs here. This one is called your total monthly session count, and this one is your total monthly visits. We compare this month to last month, and then again to SMPY, which stands for same month prior year. This helps identify if you are seeing an expected spike or dip in relation to the previous year's same time period. These last two graphs on the far right are called the average daily visits and your average peak hourly. These two graphs are very similar to that orange heat map that we saw earlier, your average usage report. These two graphs just communicate to you the busiest days and the busiest times that patrons were found on your Wi-Fi at the library during that month. Thank you so much for taking the time today to learn more about your WhoFi.com account. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support@WhoFi.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and we hope that this was successful in helping you aid your library. Have a great day.
We hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to see more tutorial videos from Ashleigh, please check out our tutorial playlist on the right. If you'd like to see more videos from WhoFi, please like and subscribe to this channel to receive notifications when we post new updates to the dashboard here. Thank you, and have a great day.